Welcome back, guys. So my other bows came in. And I'm like literally trying to decide which one to wear. I'm wearing like a burnt orange, but there is no burnt orange bow. I feel like this one. Okay, we're gonna do my hair and I'll be right back. I like these, but I need to put them up. Ooh, so much going on. So much going on. Like, there's so much going on in my space. Hold on. Yes, I have a scrunchie holder now. Don't judge me. I have that many scrunchies, y'all. It's actually getting kind of sad. I have a whole nother one of these already filled. I will link down below where I got these. I got these on Amazon. I think I paid like $11 for all of these. So that's pretty exciting to me. I love a good deal. Wait, we might actually be able to make all these fit. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm trying. I have a scrunchie problem. This is ridiculous. Okay. I'm getting like so off track right now. So, before we start this video, let's go ahead and talk about what this video is. Like the responsible person that should have announced this when I first opened up this video. Now, today's story, it is not one of New Orleans history, I know. But what we are going to talk about is what has been going on at work with Herlem. There has been a lot going on, and we're going to talk about that today, and we're going to do our makeup, and yeah. So, as we know, we did a Ouija board because we were having some strange things happening. If you have not seen that video, I will put the link, one of these, whatever, it's gonna be up there. And we discovered that we don't just have a spirit, we do have numerous spirits, but the one that is most active is Herlem. Now, he died during Hurricane Betsy. He was 21. Y'all, Herlem was a hoe. I said it. Herlem was a hoe. Not only did he have a wife, but he said he had 5 girlfriends. Now, see, here's the thing with Herlem. We don't know if Herlem's telling the truth about the 5 girlfriends because Herlem is very playful. He will make, like, he'll mess with the lights. He'll make banging sounds. And like I'm not gonna BS you guys. Like, he's very playful. And he also has like the mentality of your average 20-year-old boy. Like, he kind of wants to just, you know, he talks. And you don't know if it's all true. Anywho, talked to him about a few different things, but we mainly talked about like why he's active with us, because we noticed that when people come in, he's not so active. And when we did the first Ouija board, it took him a minute to actually like warm up to the fact that we wanted to talk to him. Even though he had definitely 100% made his presence known before that. Now, we've done research on like the lot, and the hotel itself was built in the 70s. But before that, like, there's not a lot of information that we can find on that particular lot. So, it's it's a weird situation. Like, I want to say, because Hurricane Betsy was in the 60s. Hurricane Betsy was in the 60s. So, like, I want to say that he died in the vicinity of the area. You know what I mean? But he doesn't really like to talk about serious things. So every time we would bring up like his death or his wife or his life, he would just kind of go silent. And I just dropped this palette all over my solid white desk. Okay. Thankfully, it didn't make a drastic mess, but whatever. All right, so he likes to play. Like, he's not big into, I don't know how to explain it. Like, he's playful. Like, that's what it is. He's playful. So when we bring up the more serious stuff, he kind of goes quiet. And he'll still talk, but we have to ask him, like, do you want to talk about something else? Do you want to talk about something less serious? And he always goes to yes. Now, keep in mind, like, he's almost 21. Well, he was almost 21. What 21-year-old guy wants to talk about serious stuff? Come on. So he really doesn't like talking about serious stuff, and it's fine. I swear to God. I don't know what is going on with me today. So, after we had our first seance, and we talked to him, it was fine for a while. We were gonna have, like, a whole night, and we're still talking about this part. But we wanted to, like, go take our dowsing rods and our Ouija board to the Bourbon Orleans, which is a super haunted hotel. Get a room there and stay there overnight and do that. And, I mean, we're still talking about it, but honestly, guys, like, life kind of happened, and I had some personal stuff going on. Harley and Kat had some personal stuff going on. So we kind of just, like, fell off talking to Herlem. And then things got weird. That's where things got weird. So it went from us, like, talking to Herlem every day. Now, keep in mind, the seance happened, like, a month and a half ago. And it went from us talking, like, every single day and joking with him, like, Herlem, stop messing with the lights. Herlem, I'm not in the mood. Stop making noises. That kind of messing. And it went to, like, radio silence because, like, we had a lot going on. I had a lot going on in my personal life. And I was not in the headspace to deal with it, because especially when you're dealing with something supernatural that feeds on your energy, if you go into it with negative energy, you're probably going to get negativity back. And that's how December was for me. There was a lot of negative energy in my life, and I knew that. So I personally distanced myself from Herlem because I felt like if I came into this feeling the way I was feeling, nothing good was going to come from it. You know what I mean? Well, Herlem started feeling some type of way. And me and Kat got to talking. And she was like, yeah, I heard this noise today. It sounded like the Grudge sound. And I looked at her. I went, where did you hear it? She goes, I heard it. She was standing where she was. And I was like, okay, so when did you hear it? And we started talking about when she heard it and the exact sound. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, the day before, I had heard a similar sound.
Okay, so the next three videos are sensor videos. They are from our security cameras, and you can see like them picking up heat. This particular one is the morning Cat opened, and there's no machines on. No one's in there yet. These next two videos are the morning I opened, which was the day before. So, oh my gosh, y'all, I love these cameras because they pick up so much. I only wish there was sound so that we can hear the sounds, but you can like see the cameras picking up like it's so crazy. Like right here. Crazy, right?
At this point, I literally have not acknowledged Herlem, and I hadn't acknowledged Herlem in about a month. Like when I tell you I had a lot. I had a lot going on, and it was right around my break with YouTube, honestly. That's right around the time. And I was in such a bad headspace that I knew talking to a spirit, especially one I can't see, was not going to end well. I knew that where I was, if I tried to reach out to Herlem or one of the other spirits there, I was gonna get negativity back. That's where I was. And I didn't want to put anyone else in a place where, because where I was, I didn't want someone else to potentially take something negative home. You know what I'm saying? So me and Kat are talking, and I'm like, oh my God. Yesterday, now this is a Saturday. So it was like yesterday, which would be Friday morning, I had gotten there early to open. The way we used to come in, we had these double gates that we would lock overnight, and they lead to the hotel. So we have two entrances to the cafe. On this side, we have the double gates to the hotel. On this side, we have our front door. We would come in through the double gates. So that now, let's say we're standing right here at the double gates, okay? When we first walked in, we would literally immediately take a right, and we had these old-fashioned, like, Western wooden swinging doors. So I told her, I was like, look, I was walking through, and, like, the cafes kept pitch black. No joke. Pitch black. So I'm walking through, and I'm, like, maybe 2 feet away from these wooden swinging doors when I hear a growl. Now, Kat thought she heard, like, the grudge sound. That's what she thought she heard. I heard, y'all, that sounded like a freaking pit bull growling. Like, it scared to the point where I'm maybe 2.5, 3 feet away from the light switches. I don't even go through the doors. I move so quick and reach under the doors and hit the light switches and turn around and see nothing. Except the lights flickering. And, like, that's Herlem's go-to thing. He messes with the lights. So all day I was on edge. And, like, when it comes to me, Herlem's a favorite freaking thing to do, and it gives me a heart attack every time he does it, our storage inside the cafe. Like, we have a back storeroom, then we have one inside the cafe that locks. Well, that particular storage, again, wooden doors, he likes to mess with the lights. Like, I'll go over there to get, like, because that's where I keep our backup cups and our backup lids, and I'll go over there to, like, get some cups or something. And no freaking joke, I'll go to turn on the light and it won't turn on, and then as I, like, give up and go to shut the doors, the light turns on. Like, Herlem thinks he's funny. He's not funny. Okay? He's not funny. So that's me and his thing. Like, he loves to mess with that light. And I think he knows that, like, it gives me the freaking creeps when he messes with that damn light. I just got glitter all in my eye. While me and Kat are talking about this, I'm like, you know what? We need to have a talk with Herlem. Let's get in contact with Harley and see the next time she's available to, like, have a conversation with this dude, because I'm done playing this game with him. Like, yesterday he scared the living crap out of me, and then, like, she hung out with me all day Saturday while I was working, because she was working and I relieved her to close, and so she just hung around. Well, Harley responds with, well, why don't we just do it tonight? So I tell her, I'm like, okay, well, we need white candles. And so she stops and gets white candles. And so we're talking about it. Now, during this time of us not talking to Herlem, business has been like a roller coaster. Some weeks it's amazing, some weeks it's like, what the hell? And that's COVID. That's not Herlem, that's COVID. So about the week that we heard the Monday that, all right, so I heard the growl on Friday. This is now, as of right now, we're in Saturday. So that Wednesday, Kat had sent out a message to me and Harley saying, hey, there's this homeless woman. Now, nothing against the homeless population, so please don't take it that way. When it comes to the homeless population here in New Orleans, we tend to not allow them to hang out in the cafe for a few reasons. One, most of the time they're asking customers for money. I'm not saying all the time, and I'm not saying it's all the homeless, but most of the time, if we're letting them sit in there, they end up asking our customers for money. Or they use our hand sanitizer to take a bath. Like, we've literally had a man expose himself to us. So we all sat down and talked about it, and we're like, all right, look, I get it, it's cold, wish we could actually help, but at the same time, like, we're only at 25% occupancy. Like, that's the maximum allowed in our cafe, including people working. So at the end of the day, it's still a business, so we got to put our paying customers first. So that week, Kat had sent out a message saying, hey, look, there's this homeless woman. She's really cool, and she'll buy a cup of hot water, because she brings her own tea, which I'm fine with. And she just wants to sit in here because it's cold. That week, it was really freaking cold. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. And just charge her the 27 cents for the water. I'm 100% okay with her sitting in there. Like, she is technically a paying customer. As long as she's not causing problems, I'm fine with it. And that's how it is with a lot of the homeless people. Like, we do have one gentleman. He'll come in, he'll buy a cup of hot coffee. Sometimes he'll sit inside, sometimes he'll sit outside. And it's fine. Like, just because you're homeless, I'm not going to be like, no, you can't sit here even though you just bought something. No. If you spent your money, I don't know how you got it, I don't care how you got it, but if you spent your money, I'm not going to kick you out unless you are being belligerent or disrespectful to my staff or my guest. Like, that's literally it. Or you ask for money. Now, I told her, I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm totally cool with that. Just make sure if she's going to sit in there, she is paying for something, because Kat said she sat in there all day. from like 7 a.m. until we closed. Again, like, I'm okay with that. Just make sure she's buying something, because we're at 25% occupancy, which means I can have a max of like 12 people in there. So she tells Kat, now keep in mind, New Orleans is like a mixing pot of religion, okay? So this woman comes in on Thursday. Now, I hear the growl on Friday. Kat hears it on Saturday. This woman comes in Thursday and tells Kat how anyone that practices voodoo worships the devil. And like, Kat's kind of like me. She's like, okay, whatever. You believe what you believe. Woman proceeds to tell Kat that she can see into the future and God speaks to her every night. Whatever floats your boat. Not gonna judge you. Whatever floats your boat. So Kat doesn't tell us any of this. She's such an ass. She doesn't tell us any of this. Ew. I don't mean ew, but you know what I mean. Like when you stick your finger in something you don't expect to. So see, that's why I don't like Pure's palettes. Like, some of them have great pigment, and then some of them are so like freaking dry and dusty and gross. So moving on. So I hear the growl on Friday. I go about my life, and I don't pay any mind to it. I'm just like, you know what, whatever, it is what it is. It was probably a machine. That was my logic. It was probably a machine. Now fast forward Saturday. Harley's like, we can do it tonight. She goes and gets candles. She shows up for closing. And we're sitting there and we're talking about it. About everything that's transpired before the seance, because we decided to do the seance a different way. Like more candles, no salt, white candles. And then we had our dowsing rods this time. This was not. This is so not the color I wanted. Okay, so anyway, while I sit here and try to find a lipstick I want to use. So we have the seance and we're talking to Herlem. And Kat goes, Herlem, are you mad at us? And that thing shoots straight to yes. And I said, Herlem, did you growl at me on Friday? It shot straight to no. And at that point, I'm kind of sitting there like, okay, if you didn't growl at me, then what the hell growled at me? So I'm sitting here like, okay, if you didn't growl at me, then what the hell growled at me? And then Harley remembers Herlem's technically married. Harley says, was it your wife? And Herlem shoots to yes. And then Kat says, is your wife upset that we stopped talking to you? Because like you could kind of feel the air shift once we stopped talking, and you could kind of feel like he was in his feelings, and it went to yes. So we all sit there and we're like, Herlem, we're sorry, we just had a lot going on, but it's like we don't want to hurt the guy. Like we don't want to like upset him. Like he's never done anything wrong. He's come out and said like none of the spirits are gonna hurt us, none of them want to hurt us, and he's gonna protect us if anything negative comes in. So keep in mind, at this point, me and Harley have no idea that Kat knows that this homeless woman that's been coming in, here's things. Kat says, Herlem, do you like the homeless lady that's been coming in recently? Y'all, when I tell you that thing moved to no so freaking quick, me and Harley like instantly like went to Kat. And because Kat was sitting here, Harley was here, and I was in the middle. And then I asked, because we do have another homeless man that's a regular, and I was like, Herlem, do you like this guy? And it isn't his name. I don't know his name, but we refer to him as the homeless man. We don't know his name. And it shot to no again. So Harley says, is it because you get a bad feeling from them? Shot to yes. Now, I let it go with the guy because I get a bad vibe from him too, but at the same time, like, he's never done anything to me. I think, honestly, he needs someone to talk to. I think he's lonely. So, like, yeah, I'm not his biggest fan, but he's never really done anything to me. You know what I mean? So we're letting Herlem talk. And so we're letting Herlem talk, and we're letting him get, like, all of his feelings out. And then Kat asks, does the woman that's been coming in here this week, does she bring something evil with her? Let me tell y'all how mad I am that Kat asked this question. Because now every time I see this woman, I'm like, So it went to yes. And it went to yes real freaking quick. And Kat says, is she really talking to God, or is she talking to something else? And I looked at her and went, you want him to spell this out? And she said, is she talking to God? And it went to no. And then she said, is she talking to a spirit? And it kind of circled no. So, like, when he's already on no, what he'll do is he'll just go back and go forward. Like, to go right back on no. So I said, I'm so mad at myself for asking this question. I said, is she talking to a demon? Y'all, it went to yes. So at this point, I'm looking at Kat like, okay, so the hell did you let in our cafe? And Herlem starts getting antsy, and it starts getting late, and I'm like, all right, look, Herlem, we're gonna go. We're really sorry. We promise we'll start talking to you more, and we have. And before we leave, Harley goes, I have a question. And I was like, okay. So Harley asked her question. Harley says, do we need to make her stop coming in? And it shot to yes. So we say goodbye, we close out the board, we close out the circle, we do all that good stuff. We clean everything up. And then we go to leave. Now this is Saturday. So the next day I work, I come in, I say hi to Herlem, and everything's pretty quiet. Monday comes around. Now Monday's my paperwork day. I'm literally paperwork day. I'm literally there doing paperwork. I'm not on the floor. I'm not working. I hear her come in, and she says hi. We say hello back, and I'm back. And I finish my paperwork. I go behind the counter to talk to Harley, and then so Herlem has 3 lights he likes to mess with. We have about 8 rows of 3, and they're in the ceiling. He likes to mess with the one directly above the gate, directly above the counter where we usually stand, and then one directly above where our condiment bar usually is when we have one set up. Now, it goes gate, usually off when we're there, because he likes to mess with it. A light he doesn't mess with, condiment bar. So she likes to sit in this corner where this one bulb is working. Me and Harley are talking, and we see the light above the double doors to the counter flickering, and I'm looking at her and I'm like, dude, all these bulbs were just replaced. And I'm like, Herlem, calm down, it's okay, blah blah blah. Well, the light above her goes out entirely, so she's now sitting in a dark corner, and it's not dark, but it's not bright. So I look at Harley looks at me, and we're just kind of like, Herlem really doesn't like her being in here. And then she gets up. She leaves all of her stuff there, and she gets up, and she goes into the hotel. So we're like, sure, she's probably going to the bathroom. She's gone for about 45 minutes. And then while she's gone, her stuff is still here. She took her phone and her wallet. And that light comes on the second she leaves. So I'm looking at Harley and I'm like, okay, look, I'm gonna stay with you until she's gone, help you lock up, blah, blah, blah. Now, usually we have protocol where we don't keep money in the register. Once we close, it goes in the safe. For some reason, I looked at Harley. I was helping her counter till down. I was like, hey, you just want to leave it up here? You open in the morning, right? That's not the norm for me at all. I don't know. 99% of the time, except this one time, I put the money in the safe. But something, I can't even explain it. I was just like, it was a weird day, and I looked at Harley and I was like, hey, look, you just want to leave it up here? She said, yeah. So I take the deposit. I count the till down to what it's supposed to be, and I take the extra money and I drop it in the safe. Let me tell you, a part of me is so mad at myself for leaving that money there, and the other part of me is so happy I left that money there. Someone breaks in at 4 o'clock in the morning and takes the cash out of the register. Now, this is Tuesday. The Tuesday after the Friday that we had our talk with Herlem. And I'm getting the dowsing rods because at the cameras, I rewound the cameras. They did not pick up. I have motion sensing cameras. They picked up no motion. So I pull out the dowsing rods and I'm like, Herlem, where's the money? I'm like, this isn't funny. Where's the money? Like, I'm legit thinking he's messing with the money. And I said, Herlem, point the rods to where the money is. Pointed the rods to the register. I said, no, Herlem, the money that went missing last night, where's the money? Points towards what I thought was the register. Apparently he was pointing towards the door. Someone had broken in at 4:02 in the morning. I know the exact time. Crawled in the darkness, which is why my cameras did not pick up, because my cameras don't go night vision, they go black and white, which is why it didn't pick anything up, because this person was in all black and he was in the darkest part of the store. And I'm sitting there and like something told me to change camera view to a different camera. So I did. And hey, guess what? We found out that someone took the money. So we called the police, file a report, all of that. Now we haven't seen the homeless woman. No, it wasn't her. I will tell you that. It was not her. Next morning, someone tries to break in again at 5:15. Now, we get there at 6:30. sometimes we'll get there a little early so that we can like get a cup of coffee before we start moving. This happens at 5:15 on Wednesday morning. This time, he didn't get into ours. He was still in the hotel's area, so the hotel called the police, filed a report, and all of that. Thursday happens. The woman comes back. We have not seen her since Monday. Okay? She comes in and says, hey, I haven't been here since last Thursday. Ma'am, we saw you Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. You were not here Tuesday, Wednesday. Why would you make a point of saying you have not been here since last Thursday, 7 days ago? Tells Kat, hey, so what's going on? What's new? And Kat was like, oh, we got burglarized. Someone broke in overnight. This woman's response was, I tried to tell you that was going to happen. Huh? And then proceeds to tell Kat the same story she tells me the next day on Friday. So Friday comes, and she comes in around like 9 or 10 o'clock. And I'm doing my orders and everything. Like, I'm behind the counter, but we're slow, so I'm trying to get a jump on the weekends stuff. She proceeds to tell me that she can see into the future, and she tried telling us that we were going to have a break-in. My face reacted before my mouth could. Now, thank God I have a mask on, because all you can see is my eyes. And yeah, my eyes got big. I went, okay. Like, I don't want to insult you, but at the same time, ma'am, what? Ma'am, what? So then she tells me that she is a recovering drug addict. And I'm like, okay, well, good for you on getting sober. Like, it takes a lot of willpower. And someone drugged her and stole her earrings and broke into her Bible. And I'm like, I'm not like, I tell her, I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened to you. Like, what do you, there's not really much you can say to that. So she's like, I'm going to let you get back to work. But hey, how much money did they take? And I looked at her and I said, who said they took money? Oh, I just assumed. Okay. So I didn't tell her. Comes in Saturday and tells Kat, so they took $150? Now, that's not the amount they took, but that's pretty close to it. How do you know? So Sunday. So Sunday happens, and we're all kind of catching up in the group message, like, okay, so she said this, she said this, she said this. My cat is behind my backdrop, and I kept hearing noises, and I'm like, what in the hell is in my house right now? So Sunday comes along, we're catching up, and Kat says, oh, hey, she asked who told her how much money got taken. I'm like, I didn't even acknowledge it was money. All right, so fast forward, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, I'm not accusing this woman, obviously. I don't think she had anything to do with it, but she did mention that she feels like someone's watching her. And my thing is, if someone's watching you and you spend most of your time here, chances are they're seeing us as well, which is how they figured out what time we get there and so on and so forth. Thankfully, no one was there when they broke in, so no one got hurt. But Sunday, I asked Herlem, I was like, hey, Herlem, are you protecting us against something evil that this lady is bringing in? And I was using the dowsing rods. And they went, when I tell it, okay, so pretend these are the rods. They're sitting like this. When I said, Herlem, are you protecting us from something evil this woman's bringing in? They did this. Like, they crossed so much that they were like this. I actually personally have not seen her in a few days. I'm kind of hoping I don't see her. I'm not gonna lie. She upsets Herlem. Herlem does not like her. Herlem does not like whatever she brings in. And then one of the other spirits that is there with Herlem and protects Herlem's feelings also does not like her or whatever she brings in, because the gates will start moving. So it's just, it's a whole thing. Now we don't only have Herlem, we have whatever else is in there that is attached to Herlem getting upset with the fact that this woman is coming in. We are going to set up a standing monthly appointment with Herlem where we go in once a month at night, and we have a little Ouija board thing with him, the rods and all that stuff, because we asked Herlem if he wants that, and he said yes. So alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this look. I definitely wanted to give y'all an update on what's going on with Herlem and work and all that fun stuff. The next time we film, or the next time we have our seance, we'll film it. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy the bows, Jess. Just kidding. I'm actually really enjoying the bows. I'm not even gonna lie, it makes doing my hair so much easier, because I'm just like, oh look, a bow, I'm immediately fancy. Alright guys, I'll see you on Saturday for Skincare Saturday. Y'all have a beautiful weekend, and next week we will be talking about the Axemen of New Orleans. Alright, I will see you guys later. Bye.